If you are a young Nigerian today, you are most likely standing before three common doors to escape economic hardship. Door number one is Japa or migration. This is the escape plan. Door number two is digital hustle, representing the global remote work economy where foreign currency can be earned while residing in Nigeria. And door number three, this is the trap, the scam that many desperate ones fall into. And the interesting thing is that this door does not stand apart from the others. Rather, it camouflages itself as a fast-track visa slot or a guaranteed high-paying job. I know this because I have been targeted on Instagram, hunted on LinkedIn, and almost got scammed through these methods. So in today's video, we are not going to talk only about scams. We are going to break down exactly why we fall for them, how they work, and how to build an arc to protect ourselves from the flood of scammers trying to sell us something that doesn't exist. Every day, millions of young Nigerians wake up with one goal in mind: to escape the underlying socio-economic problems that hinder them from achieving self-actualization. But for many, the dream of a new life quickly turns into a financial nightmare even before they get a real chance. This restless and young generation often falls victim to scams, which are feared by Nigeria's demographic realities. In general, there is a collective but desperate shift towards global opportunities, thereby creating a massive market for fraudsters. For example, the Japa syndrome is driven by fear of insecurity, kidnapping, and the collapsing value of the naira. And when survival becomes the motive, the risk tolerance increases. Scammers understand that a victim desperate to leave a high-risk environment is less likely to scrutinize a guaranteed visa offer, viewing it as a lifeline rather than a potential threat. This psychological vulnerability is the bedrock upon which the entire scam infrastructure is built. Think about it. What do a fake healthcare work visa and a fraudulent remote work offer have in common? They all sell the same thing: hope. In a country where economic hardship is prevalent, scammers do not sell products. They sell lifelines. They know you want to japa. They know that you want to earn in dollars. So they weaponize this desperation to bypass your ability to think logically. Now, what are the common scams targeting Nigerian youth? Let's look at some of them and see how they work. To begin, I will share my personal experience with a fraudulent immigration scheme which I encountered while scrolling on Instagram. I saw a sleek ad promising 100% guaranteed Canadian permanent residency. It looked official, and at the time, I thought paid ads on social media platforms were verified and legit. So I clicked on it, filled a form, and got a call from a representative who sounded highly professional. And boom, I was eligible. But then came the catch. A processing fee was required to open my file. They did not want detailed information about my origin, my experience, or qualifications. They just wanted $2,000 to begin the process. I immediately knew this was a scam, but you can imagine how many people fell for it and how many still do. In fact, there is a similar story on CBC News of a young man from Lagos, Nigeria, named Wisdom Ogbogbedi, who was duped by a man from his local community's Facebook group. The scammer posed as a travel agent and promised the victim a construction job in Calgary. According to the report, Mr. Wisdom paid over 1,000 Canadian dollars for security clearance, medical checks, and other administrative fees, only to receive a counterfeit labor market impact assessment document in return. Another common form of fraud is the trafficking of the certificate of sponsorship, which became prevalent with the opening of the UK's health and care worker visa route. This created a black market in which fraudulent companies began selling certificate of sponsorship documents to desperate Nigerians at exorbitant prices, often ranging from £10,000 to £20,000. Under the UK law, This sponsorship is a job offer and should not be sold to foreign workers. The risk here is that when the UK Home Office audits these sponsors and revoke their licenses, the sponsored workers automatically lose their visa status. They are often given a short period of time to find another sponsor or leave the UK. You can imagine that this is a difficult situation in which many lose their life savings paying for the initial fake sponsorship and face deportation, only to return home with nothing or in debt. Scammers also target entry-level job seekers looking for roles in technology. In the imagination of many young Nigerians, the tech bro is the apex of success. They work from home, they earn in dollars, and they are immune to the local inflation. This powerful aspiration makes them vulnerable to any offer that promises them entry into this elite class. It usually starts with an advert posted on LinkedIn or job boards, offering an attractive rate, for example $40 per hour for relatively easy tasks. The interview process is suspiciously easy, often conducted entirely via chat, and the candidate is hired almost immediately. To begin work, the candidate is told to purchase a specific software or training materials, or even pay a fee to access a particular portal. The scammer argues that this is a standard onboarding requirement, and once the money is sent, he disappears. The fact is that legitimate companies never ask employees to pay a dime to start work. However, the idea of investing in oneself makes this request seem plausible to the unsuspecting. Now, let me ask this question. If you manage to escape losing your money to a scam, are you 100% safe? The answer is no. In fact, if they do not get your money, they get your personal information, which is extremely sensitive. I have also experienced this on LinkedIn. I thought I was safe on this platform for professionals, but I was wrong. I frequently get DMs from recruiters about job opportunities. In one instance, a recruiter claimed excitement about how my profile matched the requirements and said that they were looking to hire someone for the role immediately. I was excited too because the pay we agreed on was excellent. The recruiter's profile looked real. They even interviewed me and offered me the role. By this time, I had already sent them all my personal information. But little did I know that they were not hiring me, they were harvesting me. My personal information was sold to another criminal organization within their network, and shortly after this period, I was bombarded by all kinds of offers, and that was when I realized what happened. Once your data is mined and falls into the wrong hands, many things could go wrong, such as identity theft, financial fraud, or the creation of an extensive database of leads for other scams. How many of you have seen this kind of ad on the internet? Become a full stack developer in 6 weeks and get a guaranteed job paying $3,000 to $10,000 per month. This is the fake bootcamp and guaranteed placement scheme that emerged as a result of the high demand for tech skills. In these programs, exorbitant fees are charged for substandard training, and the guaranteed placement is a lie. This scam is particularly damaging because it leads to burnout and distrust. The victim, having wasted time and money without success, may conclude that the entire tech industry is a scam and may not seek a legitimate path to proficiency in digital skills. Education-related fraud is not limited to the informal sector alone. It is also prevalent in the formal system because education is widely seen as a legitimate path to residency in most advanced countries. This perception has given rise to sophisticated scholarship scams where the scammers create elaborate websites for non-existent scholarship foundations. They advertise full tuition waiver for a fee, and because this fee, for example 500,000 naira, is small compared to the value of the scholarship, which usually runs into tens of millions, thousands of applicants pay it. This is the volume-based scam in which A large number of people pay small amounts to create a large pool. These traps look different on the surface, but they follow the same psychological playbook. And to recognize them, you need to understand or be able to recognize the 4 sequential stages that scammers use to entrap you. Think of it as a funnel starting with a hook at the top, which is usually the introduction of the narrative. Examples are advertisements on social media or search engines. At this stage, the fraudster introduces an illusion of immense value, such as a visa, university admission, or an employment opportunity, and the messaging is designed to appeal to desperation. Next is the grooming phase, which is where trust is built. The victim is asked to provide personal information to verify their identity or assess their qualification, just as an honest company would. The data is often harvested for illicit purposes, even if no money is sent, as I earlier mentioned. All of these are just illusions to prepare you for the next phase, which is the introduction of the obstacles, such as the payment of a processing fee to begin the visa process or the purchase of a software from a certified vendor to begin work. And finally, payoff is when you eventually pay. At this stage, the fraudster either disappears or introduces new barriers, requiring further payments until the victim is financially exhausted or realizes the deception. Now that you are aware of these scams, how to spot them, and how they work, how do you protect yourself from losing your money or sending your data to the wrong hands? The solution is in 2 parts. The first requires shifting from trust to verification, combined with digital hygiene, while the second involves cultivating some personal defense habits to keep you safe. Let's look at the first. Due diligence and official verification. It is your responsibility to become a detective of your own and not let your emotions get in the way of finding out the truth for yourself. You have to verify every claim using official sources rather than relying on the documents sent to you. It is easy because most countries have dedicated public registers, and all you need to do is find the register for your country of interest and search the records. I know many of you watching are searching for opportunities in different countries, such as the US, the UK, and across Europe. However, covering the verification details for every country in this video will not be helpful because different countries have different systems for verifying immigration and agency services. So I propose we use the comment section as a verification hub, and if you are struggling to conduct due diligence to verify an offer, do not hesitate to comment about your specific situation. I will research the matter and share my findings. Now, on the digital hygiene side of things, the first technique I want to show you is called the reverse image search. It may sound complicated, but it is actually very easy. All you have to do is take the profile photo of the contact person from WhatsApp or LinkedIn and upload it to Google Images. If the photo appears on dating websites or websites dedicated for stock photos or under a different name, it is definitely a scam. The second technique is domain analysis, which involves carefully examining emails and websites. For example, official communication typically originates from dedicated domains such as at amazon.com for companies and at gov.uk for government agencies. It never comes from at consultant.com or at gmail.com or with slight misspellings such as at amazon-jobs-hiring.com. If it comes from unofficial sources, please delete it. You can also check the domain age with web tools like who.is. All you have to do is enter the domain name and check the creation date. If the university or company's domain name was registered only a month ago, it is a massive red flag. To keep yourself bulletproof, you still need to develop your own defense. by overcoming impatience, anxiety, and desperation. For example, if you find an urgent offer, wait 24 hours. Panic is the best friend of scammers and patience is their enemy. Also, if an organization contacts you, independently verify their legitimacy using official information such as a phone number from their official website, rather than relying on the information provided by the person who contacted you. Be skeptical of any unsolicited and unexpected offer that seems too good to be true. Also, understand that no agent, legitimate or not, can guarantee you a visa. And if you encounter a fraud, please report it to the appropriate authorities. As a Nigerian, you are most likely fighting a war on 3 fronts: the battle to live, the battle to earn, and the battle to stay safe. The economy isn't just the enemy anymore. It is the agent trying to sell you a fake sponsorship. It is the recruiter mining your data. Your dreams are valid and you have the right to seek better opportunities, but you cannot build a dream on the foundation of lies. Please share this video with someone who is desperate to japa or who is actively searching for online opportunities. By doing so, you might be saving their lives and dreams from destruction.